just a young buck. He was in his
he was in his 60s.
Pushing 70, but young man.
Yeah, I mean, he was just playing great.
I know a lot of people are familiar with all the recordings. Your discography's well over 100, I'm sure.
I don't know exactly, but probably. I got to play with Jimmy Cobb for years.
Still do, right?
Still do. George Coleman for years. I played with Johnny Griffin for years. Played with Horace Silver, not for that long, but...
Horace Silver, with Jimmy Capella, with Frank West, with Hank Jones. How you feel to play with the names like this?
Feel good.
Did you ever nervous or you feel like I'm not good enough for the?
Yeah, you know, you can get nervous before, but I found that once you start playing, you're not nervous anymore.
If you could say, okay, the band, the actual, like, a small group that was surrounding you where you were like, Jesus Christ.
With Jimmy and Peter Bernstein, and we had different piano players. I remember we used to play down at the Village Gate. Mm. And at that time, it was Brad Meldau on piano.
You guys were kids.
Yeah, we were
24, 25
mid-20s. And we had some nice moments down there.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very nice. Jimmy would just get on that ride cymbal and to the moon. Those guys, like Horace, Johnny Griffin, George Coleman, Etta Jones, Jimmy Cobb, never once said, you know, hey, do this, do that. Never once. They just play. If they call me back, great. They play with somebody and they wanted something different, they just don't call that person back. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to try to change somebody. If you never hear from that person again, then you say, maybe they weren't happy.
Brad and Pete are both
No.
Manhattan boys?
No, Brad's from Connecticut.
Oh.
Pete is from here. But Brad had just moved here for college
From
Connecticut. He was about 19 or 20 years old at the
wow,
time.
he had it all together. He was already Brad with a capital B.
Yeah, he was taking care of business.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, swinging.
When you hear the great musicians, especially from past, from like generation of 30s, 40s, they're all swinging. They're all swinging.
Yeah.
Now almost nobody swings.
I think it's considered old-fashioned.
So the new generation start playing new music, or what?
I think it seems to me like younger guys are trying to make critics happy. So they think, well, if I come out and I'm swinging, then the critic is just going to say, this guy plays some old, tired crap that nobody wants to hear. Seems like the younger guys, they say, well, I got to play, something in 5/4 that goes to 7/4, and then a couple bars of Latin, and then, back to 5/4. And then the critic might say, well, yeah, this was, something new and fresh.
Recording these days is an expensive thing, and to get experience on recording, it's so hard. So what your recommendation for musicians who are not beginners, but they don't have lots of experience on recording?
These days, they separate everybody in the studio. In the old days, you would play in the same room like you would play a club. If everyone is separated and somebody makes a mistake, then they can just go back and they, separate it, they can fix the mistake. It's easier to make a recording, but it's never going to have the same sound as the old stuff when you play together. So, yeah, it can be a little strange because you're in a booth, you're by yourself, and you got headphones on. Maybe you can't see the other guys really well, or maybe you have to look into a mirror to see them. But, I mean, the only thing I can say is just get through it and do the best you can. I mean, there's no secret.
Did you know Rudy Van Gelder?
Yeah.
Did you been in his studio?
Yeah.
Recorder?
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
He was great.
Did he say anything about the old days or some stories?
He didn't really talk a lot, but I remember the first time that I was there, he put me in the booth, and then he had a direct. He had me plugged in, and he had a microphone.
So hold on, he got the booth. So the old days he didn't, but then he got the booth.
Yeah. So we played one tune to test. So I was listening to it, and I said, "I'm sorry, but would you mind removing the direct?" And he said, "How'd you know I was using the direct?" I said, "Well, I can hear it." He said, "Well, who's paying for this recording?" So the trumpet player said, "Me." He says, "Well, what do you want?" I said, "Well, let's try it with no direct."
So you okay.
And then after that, anytime I went there, there's no problem. Just no direct, only microphone, and it sounded amazing.
Bud Powell used to live somewhere here, right? Wasn't he on St. Nicholas? And I think maybe up there was one of his houses.
A lot of the guys used to live up here.
Yep, St. Nicholas Avenue.
They have down the street, they got the plaques. Have you seen those?
Yeah, in front of the police station.
They got Dizzy, right? And Billie Holiday.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking about Jimmy Cobb, being that this is still Harlem and this is still, one of the historic places. Jimmy's 90th birthday is...
Yeah, 3 days away.